There we are. We are live. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. This is Trading Titans market analysis for November 5th. It's election day, everybody. It's election day. Uh, I'm actually really excited because I think, I could be wrong, but I think that we've seen enough consolidation, enough accumulation of volume, and enough price action to show that we have before us a foundation for price going up. Now, the the interesting thing is that the plans that are being brought forward by the greater political environment that exists right now, that the plan that they are unfolding takes time. And so we have to be really cognizant of what we can expect here over the next 4 to 6 months. I will be selling everything out of crypto before the bubble pops. This is another bubble, just like the dot-com bubble, just like the housing bubble, just like every other bubble. And already we are seeing signs of the bubble popping, but we haven't had the bubble yet. Things are, what's the word I'm looking for? I think the old English, they would say it's in sixes and sevens. This is just, it's kind of chaos right now. Last quarter, Microsoft reported a $4.4 billion loss off of ChatGPT. It's supposed to be the savior of the world, the economic world. And what's happening is that for the first time in history, we're actually seeing the acceleration of computing move in the opposite direction. Like that acceleration of computing is actually experiencing a cheaper, the computing gets cheaper as time goes on. And so they thought that as this would occur, as this whole AI thing would occur, that, the money would be there. But because the computing is becoming cheaper and cheaper all the time, unlike any other technology that has been emerged, the computing just gets more expensive. Today, the computing on this, the rate at which its capacity to complete tasks is moving at such an accelerated rate, and the price of computing is going down. And so what they're finding right now is that they're getting pinched. They are not making the money that they were sold that they would be making when they got started. Even CEOs are closing things down, quitting, resigning, because they're not able to deliver what they said. AI was supposed to be this savior of the economic world, and it's not panning out that way. So, in order to get the money, because these guys will not go down without a fight, in order to get the money, they need to get it from us, the gullible guinea pigs of the entire economic experiment. And so what we're going to see over the next little while is the push for everybody to get on board. We need everybody to get on board. Now, put a pin in that for a second, because what is going to occur next, the way that this bubble will be popped, will be similar to how the markets crashed in the beginning of 2020. If you recall, it was already towards the end of December in 2019 where reports of the shipping yards in China were empty. I remember one video in particular was where someone who drove truck every day to go and do their job at the port. They stepped outside of their vehicle and they're like, look at this port. And it, didn't look empty to me, but she said, usually these containers are stacked 6-7 high and they go for hundreds of meters, and they are not, they're gone. She said, and that video was kind of the thing that was used to spark this fear of the economy crashing out of, because COVID is taking over the world. COVID's destroying the economy. It's taking away our shipping. Well, of course, that's not why the markets crashed in February of 2020. They crashed because this is a deliberate onboarding of the tax slaves into the next monetary system. And they needed COVID as one of the catalysts to blame. COVID didn't create this problem. It was used as it was used to blame, to have a reason. It's no different than, we need to have we need to name the killer of JFK. Right? It was the same thing. They had to name it so that everybody could feel better about the fact that, this terrible thing happened and now we have a reason. It's because of COVID. Well, what's going right now, if this crisis were to occur, there wouldn't be a whole lot of victims because there's not a lot of people onboarded into this new world that we're headed into. In fact, if you take a look at the crypto world, barely enough people are a part of it for it to really have an economic effect on the world. They need everybody to be a part of it so that there's a risk. There's something that they can use to get people to be afraid. If nobody's using it, I gotta replace the light here in front. If nobody's using it, when there's a problem, there aren't enough victims for anybody to whine and cry and say, somebody needs to fix this. There ought to be a law. And so I think over the next 3-4 months will be the onboarding. Trump has already said that if he wins, he's going to be introducing Bitcoin as a staple for the American economy. Well, that means a lot of people are going to have to get on board with it. So over the next little while, I think that that's what's going to happen. You're going to have educators who are posing as good people. They are going to be working very hard to get as many people on board as possible. I think we're going to see more incentives from the crypto.coms and the shake pays of the world in order to, in the NDAXs and all the exchanges, they're going to be incentivizing referrals. So you're probably going to get $20 to $30 to $50 for referring someone into their platform. All the incentive to get on board is going to be through the roof. And the reason why is because they need to make their money back. They lost a lot of money. And so they need the liquidity of all of the dumb money to compensate them for all the work that they've been doing trying to enslave us with this system. So I believe, and this is why you'll want to follow me, is because I'm following this very, very closely, and every single morning we do the market analysis, except for Sundays, and we are watching this unfold in real time. Even when we're not doing market analysis, you can, private members, you can contact me anytime. I've got a little, like an online office. You can just pop in anytime and have a conversation with me if you want, where we talk about what's going on right now. And there will be soon a right now where everybody is on board. Everybody's a part of, everybody is a part of this this onboarding. So they're going to be in on it, and they're going to be well vested into it. They're going to have even much of their wealth that they are transferring from the dollar because it's going to be inflating. That transference, that they are going to want to see a lot of return from that. They're going to want to pull that rug out to make all the money that they lost this year on AI. And that will be the bubble. But here's the thing. They are going to need something to blame. They're going to need the assassin in order for everybody to be, okay, that's what it was. And I believe, this is me walking out on the limb of high octane speculation here, that I believe that they're going to use the cyber attack in order to accomplish their mission. That's what I believe. So, in order for us to be prepared for that moment, in order for us to make sure that we are getting in now and making sure that we are taking as much as we possibly can from the market with the smart money, we're going to be following this very, very closely. And I invite you to come along with us. You can tune in for free every morning. We do this market analysis where we go over the charts. If there's an asset that you would like me to analyze, if there's something that you have a question about, go ahead and throw it in the chat. I've got my comments up on my dashboard here. And of course, if you'd like to come in on the private group, feel free to reach out to me, contact me, or you can use the scheduling option that I have on my X profile. So let's get this show on the road here this morning. 7:33 right now, and so let me get my charts open and let's analyze what's happening right now. And where is my
should have bought at
oh, did something shoot up today?
No, I was just looking at ADA. Should have bought at 1 o'clock yesterday because it went down.
Oh, did it?
I'd have made a lot. Now it's it
went down after you purchased.
Yeah.
Well, that can happen. But that I'm just looking here. I'm like, oh my goodness, look at that. 3 is up 11%.
What is
3? There. Oh, let me get my screen share going on. Let's do this. Market analysis for election day. Woo! All right. Here we go. Oh, and I've got some green screen malfunction there. There we go. Okay. Awesome. Here we go. Let's start with silver. Silver had that retracement. We talked about that over the last week. That retracement's beautiful. Found support again. As you can see, yesterday it opened and closed basically on the button with the bulls having a nice run. Right now, the bulls are on their way up. It is election day, and this is something that the community that I follow, the few communities that I follow, different leaders, they've been saying kind of the same thing, corroborating each other's opinions about this, and I concur. They feel that the chop that we've experienced over the last couple of weeks was actually a good thing. It was an indecision that a lot of people were experiencing. There was tons of accumulation happening within the smart money, but then there was a lot of the retail traders, they were hesitant to get started until after the election to see the results, and then they would have a greater idea on whether or what to do with their money. So I concur with that. Today is going to give us the results. Well, apparently it's going to take a few days to count because they don't have counting mechanisms yet. That the technology is very limited. We can't just give people the result right away. We've got to take some time to count these votes, and so we can count trillions of dollars being traded every single day on the Forex, but we can't figure out who won the election within 24 hours. So the results that they televise today will be what it is that people emotionally make choices on. So we'll be watching that as it unfolds. I'm excited for it. I think that what we're going to see is a great influx of money coming into especially precious metals, simply because of Trump's narrative that he has. And if he wins, I think it's going to be extremely, extremely, extremely good for cryptos. And then if he loses and it's Kamala that gets the big thumbs up, it'll still be really good for cryptos, just not as good as soon. But it's still going to be good. I still don't think that, like what we've talked about in the past, Bitcoin has not. I'm kind of straying from our topic right now, but cryptos have never come back from their election prices, ever. So I don't think that we're going to see that. We're going to continue to see that kind of pattern. But as that money is being taken out of the fiat system, it's going to be put into things like metals and cryptos, simply because of the narrative that's currently in place. So this retracement is beautiful. We found great support now here at the 32.3 level. We're headed towards that all-time high, I believe. We'll see confirmation of that probably later today or tomorrow. Gold also retraced, now showing some strength a little bit here over the next couple of days. Or yesterday, again, basically the same candle formation. And then today, bulls are taking over at the moment. We've got the TSX Toronto Stock Exchange. It definitely is pulling back from its all-time high. Nothing to really report here. We'll see what happens if it is able to find support, maybe off to that 50-day average. We'll see what happens. You can see how much it has hovered around that line. It's going to be, yeah, it's going to be interesting. I like seeing how this unfolds. The Dow Jones, yesterday we chatted about how it has gone down below this low here. So it hit this all-time high, and now this retracement has actually gone below this low. Now that doesn't mean we have a reversal on our hands. However, it does mean that the bears are starting to favor the selling option. So they are really pushing hard against the bulls. So this is going to be interesting to see what happens. If it is not able to regain support above this pivot zone here, if it's not able to regain support, we'll likely see a drop coming down. I'm going to say possibly down to this trend line here to test that one. If it manages to stay above that, we may see another extension hitting up another all-time high. Remember, Trump is the savior of the world. And so just like what he was able to do in 2020, you know, after this crash right here, this drop, he brought things back, right? It's all him. He was the savior of the world because the stock market crashed beginning of 2020 by 38%. And then since that time, he saved us, right? In the time that he was still in power, he saved us. And it was when Biden came in, you know, in the beginning of January, when the market went back down again because, you know, America did not successfully have their revolution or whatever. But he was able to bring it back and brought it up 100%. So that type of movement may still go on for a little while after he comes into office because he needs to make himself look good. So the inflation will continue to push this price nice and high because, again, remember, this is not a reflection of the value of the market. This is a reflection of the devaluing of the currency. That's what we're watching happen. So as the currency continues to be devalued, we could very well be finding support even off of this level here. This would be the 41,500 level. That might become the support level that allows it to go above and create another high. Time will tell. Time will tell. Let's move on to more important things like the future. Here's Bitcoin. I'm not saying it's the future. I'm just saying that cryptos are definitely going to be the future. I know it's some people are like, oh, I don't like the fact that the digital world is taking on so much. Neither do I. Neither do I. But if we wanted to do something about it, that should have been done in the 90s, back when the internet showed up in our houses. We didn't do anything about it. We embraced it. And now it's a part of our lives. So deal with it. Right now, Bitcoin is hovering, like I was saying. I think this whole bit here, especially, you know, it didn't quite reach that all-time high. Tempted it, but it didn't reach that all-time high. So this retracement has allowed for some more accumulation. And I think that, well, look at this already. It's election day, and it is up 2.81% from its open. Already showing a new high. If we can zoom into the 4-hour chart, we can see that we are already, we're already working our way above this. Is that right? This is a high of 69.867. This is a high of 69.867. Yep. So here we go. 13 versus 48. We beat it. So there is a high now that is higher than this high here. Now it's going to be about getting up above this banker's candle here at 71.5 and then onwards to the next. That I believe will likely be where we get some support. So if I draw a line here, you can see that has provided some resistance in the past. So what we need is, let's make this an 8. So what we need is for us to get above the 71.5 level. Once we get above that, find support, that's when we'll likely shoot for another all-time high. So this line may provide some resistance first though. So you could see this price action come up to this resistance and find support back down here again before it goes up to the all-time high. It's possible. Again, that's just a squiggly line. Don't take it as truth. Ethereum. Let's move into this now. Ethereum's gone up since yesterday. Definitely, well, over the last couple of days. Or is that right? No, yeah, that's the daily chart. There we go. So we can see it bounced off of that lower trend line and is coming back up again. I would expect it to not reach, like it's probably going to stay maybe even within the pennant. However, we are on election day. So it could very well be that after the results come in that we see a shoot up. I still think we're going to see some resistance, like I've done the squiggly line here on this red trend line. It could I believe that we'll still see some resistance there before finding support at the 25 level before heading up to the next resistance, to the next pivot point. So right now, if you are interested in getting some Ethereum, now would be a good time. However, also be aware of the fact that we may still see another retracement coming down to retest the 2100 level, possibly even the 1900 level. So just be mindful of that. If you're buying, don't spend it all in one shot. Yeah, bring down your dollar cost average. If you're wanting to, I'm not. I've got more interesting things to be a part of than Ethereum. But between here and here, you can start to dollar cost average if you're looking to buy, get some support off of 19 and then move up so that you are maximizing your returns. Don't buy it all now. Split it out across 2 or 3 transactions and increase your position accordingly. If you want to learn about that, how to do dollar cost averaging, let me know. Be more than happy to walk through that with you. Let's move on to Cardano. This is ADA. This one here is now, yeah, it definitely did go down after you bought yesterday, but don't be discouraged because that is definitely a nice line of support. You didn't get it far off that line of support. So I believe that now we'll see it come up, find some resistance, possibly on this trend line, but again, being election, we could very well be, I did it again. How do I get it so it doesn't lock? Stay in drawing mode. I don't know. So this, we'll see this come back up. Once we get over top like we did here before, I believe we'll find some a retracement hitting the top side of this trend line before heading up to the next pivot point. All-time high is 81 cents US. Sorry, that is not the all-time high. That is the all-time high for 2024. All-time high is just shy of $3 if I remember correctly. But the distance between here and that, oh, I did it again. Where is my, there we go. Here we go. So the distance between here and that 2024 all-time high is 140%. That'd be great. So that is the first thing. The next thing is so after we get up to that point, get a leg up over top, find a retracement on that high, and then hit up towards the next pivot point, which I would say would probably be that $1.50. Let's just see here. Yes, I would say $1.25 actually is going to be the next pivot point that we see. Then $1.50, $1.60, somewhere in there, and then up to $3. Now, that being said, given the adoption that ADA is currently experiencing within many nation states, it is not outside of the possibility for this to go to $10 within the next 6 months. So just be mindful. XRP still hanging out down low here from yesterday. It is up a little bit, up 1.77% today. Likely to shoot up here, especially as the results come in, whether Trump wins or not, simply because XRP is widely used within the financial sector, even in terms of using it to manipulate the prices of other coins. So I do believe we'll see this come back and find some resistance at the top of this line. It's going to be, it's 34% from here. So if you wanted to grab a quick scalp, it would probably still be a couple of days, but you would experience some nice growth there if you were to purchase. There are other support lines down here as well. Use good money management, and you can still make money even if it goes down. Just use good money management with that dollar cost averaging, and you'd be fine. Polygon has dipped down over the last couple of weeks simply because it was finding this line here, providing some support. Once it dipped down, that was giving the especially founders, early adopters, innovators, developers, it's given them a great opportunity to accumulate some more. And so now it just bounced off of its low at 29 cents. This is an all-time low as well. So if we go back, you can see that even towards the beginning in March of 2021, the price that we are at right now literally was bounced. It bounced off of that low. And that low price, what is this one here? 29.1 is that old price. So this here is now found a new support line. I believe we might kind of like dribble like a basketball a few more times. Let me move it over here. Probably dribble like a basketball a few times on this line before getting back up again. We would need to see a nice solid close above this bottom of this trend line, bottom of this wedge. Need to see a good couple days of closing above that before we see a retracement that would provide the support necessary for it to move up. The next impulse, I believe, is probably going to be finding resistance at the 58-cent level. So between here and there, I mean, we're at 30 cents right now. Going up to 58 cents, that's an 88% return. So you're almost doubling your money just to get us to the first pivot point before it takes off. So great position there. Solana already up 6% this morning, one of the higher ones of the day, pulled off of this 50-day average very, very well. Bounced off of that and has shown great strength since then, now driving deep into this pivot zone. If this is finding support, we might see another retracement similar to what I have here. But at the same time, this might have been all of the bulls, the push from the bulls right here on October 29th. That one might be all that was necessary for this retracement to find the support. And that's kind of, it's a little bit to explain. But this movement here is sufficient for an extension because we've got, here's how I can tell. We know that there is a good chance for this to go up because we can see that this impulse here had a retracement beyond that 61.8 level. So using the Fibonacci ratio, we can judge that this impulse movement here, from here up to there, that retracement has gone below 61.8, that golden ratio. In fact, it went below 50%. So this retracement is sufficient for it to continue going up. If it wasn't this deep, I would be hesitant to say that it's going up. But this is a nice deep retracement. It found support off of what has been resistance in the past. And so, today and tomorrow, we'll get confirmation on whether or not that is going to continue going up. This asset here is expected to reach $500. The all-time high right now is only 261. So even if it gets up to the all-time high and you haven't bought yet, you could still potentially double your money when it goes up to 500. Of course, none of this is financial advice. You do your own research. I'm just sharing with you what it is that I'm doing and how I analyze the charts and make the choices that I do for myself and my wealth. TRX, I just love how, I know I say this every single time, I just love how consistent this chart is. This is just beautiful. Right now we're seeing it consolidate along this middle line of this channel. Now I believe that what we're going to see over the next little while, couple days probably, is finding support likely at this level here. I'm gonna put this one down. And the only reason I'm saying that is because we haven't seen a significant retracement coming back to a major support or pivot line. And so we've got two to really be paying attention to. There's one here at the 15-cent level, but then there is this pivot zone. This pivot zone here is between 14, yeah, it's in the 14-cent range. So between this support here at the 15-cent level, 15.4, and the support that's found at 14.8, that would be a beautiful place for this price to retrace in order to get that support for the next move. Now, the reason I say that is because the distance between here and the upper end of this trend line is 29%. That is a healthy amount. That's typically what what the larger whales are wanting to see happen every time they make a trade. They want to see that 20 to 30%. But if it were to happen from here, where we are right now, it would only be 17%, 16, 17%. And I believe that they're wanting to see movements like this more so, where, you know, it's going up 40% in one week. That's what I believe is what would give this asset the support it needs for ongoing upwards. Now, be mindful, this is expected to be $1 by the end of this bull run. Well, right now it's at 16 cents. So what's $1? From this point here, $1 is 500%. So you're looking at a 5x on TRX, especially if we can get that support off of this previous pivot point here. Injective token. Oh, look at how it bounced off of that. Yet again, bounced off of this trend line. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days. We very well may still be looking longer term with injective token. And I'm just noticing right now, there's a hot flash here with 3. It was only at 11% growth when we started this live stream. It is already at 21% growth today. Back to injection. This one here, I'm really excited for. It is an altcoin that I believe will be a little bit more delayed than what we'll see come out of like the Bitcoins, Ethereums, you know, Polygons, the layer 1 coins. A lot of these alts are going to take a little bit more time to see their growth, but they will be growing at greater rates with higher percentages than what the top coins are doing. So this altcoin here, Injective Token, part of an ecosystem that's bringing about a lot of interoperability, which is going to be the big theme, I think, for 2025 in the crypto sphere. This here's found support. Could very well look for support at 14 cents because again, this will be a little bit more delayed than the other coins. So be prepared for it to go down. Now I've got a few positions in here, so I'm good. I'm probably not going to add more. I have one here that I started at the middle of June, and then a second trade where I actually increased more than doubled the amount that I'm holding at this level. And so right now, already in profit between the two trades, simply because how much I purchased down at this level on September 6th. It is now above that. It's a great place to get started. This is supposed to be over $200 over the next 6 months. And so again, this is based off of the valuation of how many coins are in circulation, calculating how much growth we can likely see in following patterns of the past. This is going to be a wonderful all-time high is $53. So already between here and the all-time high, one can expect a 200% return. That's awesome because you're tripling your money. 200% return. 100% return is doubling your money. 200% return is tripling your money. That is a good, that is beautiful. And that's just the starting point. After that, it'll continue going upwards, and you'll be able to watch me as I execute these trades. I will be letting you know, even in these free market analysis, when I'm exiting, so that I don't experience the other side of this bubble. Because the first side of the bubble, that's fun. The other side of the bubble, not so much. 3 protocol. This is the one that's already up 21% today. Just today. Remember how I was saying yesterday? Look at how this price action just whiplashes back and forth, up and down and up and down and up and down. Let's go to the 15-minute chart so you can see what I'm talking about. Look at how this price action just bounces back and forth almost every day. Every day. It's going up and down. Listen, this is up 29% and then down 22%, 23%. Come down here. Let's say it goes below this line. You're like, oh, it's going to go back, because it is typically speaking coming back to that average on its own without effort. So whenever you see it deviate from that average, take a position. So here, position goes down, drops, comes back up 36% in a matter of 18 hours. Up here, it's beyond the average, so go ahead, sell it, and then reaccumulate once it goes down below the average. Look at 3 days later, 25%. So you take that money and you add it here, and now you're adding 25% more volume than when you left. Now that 25% more volume is going to give you the returns it needs to go back up. Let's say, for instance, back to the middle, 41%. So this back and forth movement, look at already, it says 13% now. So it went up to 21%, is already down to 13.49. When I started, it was 11, went up to 21, and now it's down to 13. So this type of action is, whenever you see it, it provides you with some great scalping opportunities. You got to be watching, you got to be careful. If you need some help, let me know. Be more than happy to coach you through that. We can do it, a couple of days in a row if you want. But yeah, that's what's happening with 3 protocol. Let's go to Woo. Woo is up 8% already today. Oh, let's go back to the daily chart. Yeah, deep retracement into this pivot zone. Beautiful retracement into this pivot zone. With this high being so much higher than the previous high, I would say that this is kind of the last that we'll see. Might still find, it might look for support towards a 13-cent level. It might, but I feel like it's already getting a good push here today. We'll see how election goes. Again, this is an altcoin, so we need a lot more confirmation to know that we are for sure going to break out and hit all the, like for instance, the all-time high, right? We would need to see this get a good leg up over top of the 21-cent level. Once it's there, we got that support. I do expect it to go up to the 36 first and then find some resistance there. You may, this is something that I will likely be doing with this asset, is taking Woo up to this point here at the 36-cent level. I'll be selling half and I will be reaccumulating on this support level right here. That way I can add to the position. So I am holding more than I would if I just didn't sell. I will be holding more and compound that compound interest towards the all-time high. So that's a pretty meaningless squiggly line unless I change the color. Let's change the color. There it is. That's my trade plan right there. And as you can see, I've got a couple positions already. One that I took towards, 24th of September. That's when I took the first one. And then I added to my position at a higher price point, but I'm okay with that because I was excited. And that one there is, that was taken on October 19th. And so now it's just a matter of waiting for it to do its thing. Right now, if you were to take a position, you would experience, just going back to the all-time high, 420% return. That is healthy. Again, like I say, I'm going to be taking my position. I think my average right now is around 20 cents. I'd have to go and do the math on that. But with 20-cent average, I would still be getting a 328% return going to the all-time high. Again, my plan though is to just take it up to the 36-cent level with a 79%, 80% return. That's when I'd sell, reaccumulate, and add about 28% volume to my position. That's where I'll experience greater growth and leverage back some of the loss that I had in this second position that I took. It's not bad. It's normal. It's fine. I'm just making an adjustment to my dollar cost average to maximize my returns. Let's move on to BitTensor. This company here is providing a lot of infrastructure for big tech to host and provide delivery services for AI. And this one here, this retracement was beautiful. It's a great position right now to buy. This is expected to go over $5,000. In fact, it is supposed to surpass, based off of valuation, it is supposed to surpass Ethereum over the next 6 months. Well, Ethereum, word is on the street that it is supposed to be around $5,000. And so I think to myself, if this is supposed to surpass it, let's just conservatively say it'll reach 5,000. Right now at 446, that would be over a 10x return on your investment, on your position rather. This here, this deep retracement is beautiful. The fact that it was able to dig this deep beyond this pivot point tells us that we've got a great position. Again, it's an altcoin. So in order for us to know that we are in fact in a bull run, I would like to see this price actually get into the next pivot zone and find support at the $540, $550 level before heading up to that all-time high. Likely finds some resistance there as well. But even from here to the all-time high, that's a 75% return. Desync. This one here, another altcoin specifically for providing storage and hosting within the decentralized ecosystem, Web3, that kind of thing. This here is, I've got a few positions here as well. I got started in June. This one here, going to the all-time high from where we are right now is 157%. So it's kind of on the lower end of cryptos, yeah, just a little bit of a jump, still very healthy. This one here, I believe we're going to see more incremental. This one is a long-term project. It will not be a pump and dump thing. The reason I say that is because in every rush there ever is, it's the people who provide the tools for the rush. Let's talk about the gold rush, for example. People made money getting gold. There was no question about it. But the more money was generated, more economic activity was actually generated by the people providing the pickaxes and shovels and pans for panning for gold in riverbeds and so on and so forth. Those were the people that made the most money. Well, Destra recognized that. And instead of just going all in on AI, which is the rush, they were saying, let's provide the tools. And in fact, that business model is what's allowed NVIDIA, one of the larger producers of AI chips, that's allowed them to actually excel and surpass Apple in the size of their company, because they know that the AI is just the burger. They're not going to make a whole lot of money off of that. But they do know that the storage of everybody's data for AI, the processing of centralized AI services, all of that those are the tools. And so they have invested into that. Destra, no different. So this one here, I believe, is going to have a lot more consistency as it climbs up these pivot points to the all-time high and beyond, because these guys are selling the tools for the rush, not the rush. 0 by 0. This is the tool. Private AI project. I'm encouraged by it simply because of their of how much they prioritize the privacy of people's AI. And right now we're down inside this this bearish channel, but not to be discouraged, simply because we have found that this line has provided some great support in the past. It's dipped down below, so that's a pretty good test, but you can see that we had a little bit some price action at that level before. So it could very well be that this is our support that we need for us to get to the all-time high. But don't be alarmed, because again, it's another altcoin. It can take a couple of weeks for all the people who are coming in and bringing their Bitcoin and their Ethereum into this great reset. It can take some time for them to choose which assets to diversify. And so this one here might take a couple of weeks before we see it break out back above this bearish trend line and start gaining some support headed back up to this here. I think that the first point of resistance that we'll really see is going to be, yeah, this, there we go, right there. I believe that that level, which is 22 cents-ish, that will be where the price finds some resistance and pulls back to find support at the 16-cent level. And that's when it has the necessary volume for it to go up sustainably. We might see some whiplash with this cryptocurrency, especially coming in, simply because of how much activity this asset has in social media. There are some crypto influencers that seem to, well, I shouldn't say seem to, rightfully so, they are optimistic about this. Whenever they make some posts, we see some fancy movements like this, just simply because of the influence that they have over the audience. ARK, another private AI, definitely finding support here below this pivot point at the 22 cent level. Right now sitting at 1.9 cents even. We are expecting this one here to get a leg up over top of the 3.7 cent level over the next month. So, you know, we might see some more chop, maybe even another test of this area here, because it tested it here as well. That test is at the 1.2 cent level. Now 1.2 cents, that's incredible. That's like a penny stock. This is expected to go to $1 within the next 6 months. What does that mean? Well, from 1.3 cents up to $1, I gotta really scale my chart here to make this work. Oh, and you know what? Let's not go 1.2. It is right now 1.8. Let's not use too much speculation there. So from where we are right now at 1.9 cents, to take it to $1 is a 5,100% return. This asset may very well 50x over the next 6 months. That is the amount of that is the amount of optimism that there is currently in the market, especially within these AI projects. That is the bubble that we'll be taking advantage of on the front side and watching it crash on the other and being like, ha ha, I was part of the smart money. This is a bloodbath, guys. We are witnessing a bloodbath, and it's time that we had some wins. So definitely give me a follow. Leave a comment if there's something that you want me to. Oh, hey, we've got Jay tuning in there. Sweet, nice, awesome. So the Link. Let's move on to the Link AI. This one here, finding support. I love just how well this support line has been. You know, that 10-cent level has been phenomenal at keeping. Yeah, let's get this thing going here. This support level at 10 cents is serving very well, has served well in the past. We may see some testing coming back down to below the 10-cent level, so don't be too alarmed. Again, it's an altcoin, so it might take a couple weeks for it to experience the same the same growth that we see in the main coins here over the next couple of weeks. So be mindful that it may go down. This one here, I don't have money directly in this one. I'm quite leveraged with a lot of these other assets. So I'm not adding to my bags right now. But this one here, with extra liquidity, I definitely would be coming in because it's also expected to be $1 by the end of this cycle. Well, at 11 cents right now, that's like an 8x. Very, very healthy. DEAI, 01 Labs. This one here is a newer project, and so you can see that it doesn't have the same pump and dump feel that a lot of these altcoins can sometimes experience. Not that, just because something pumps and dumps doesn't mean that it's a bad asset, but it certainly does raise red flags for me when it comes to long-term positions. And so if there are other things that I would want to take into account, this particular one I find is a lot more level-headed in its price action. Finding support, resistance is great. Building accumulation zones. This is a good asset right now. We've just had an all-time high formed at the end of October, and over the last week it has been retracing, finding support around the middle of this pivot point. We'll see what happens over the next couple of days. It would be wonderful to see a triple bottom. That would give us confirmation that we are for sure building the volume necessary for that next movement that the larger, smarter money would want to see. And so even from the bottom of that, the bottom of this pivot zone to the all-time high is a 60% growth. So if you were interested from where we are right now, even, you might buy now, but then experience some drawdown, but then you'd still get 26% coming back up to the all-time high. Again, I believe, based off of the fact that we're seeing onboarding occur already with a lot of the earlier projects. This one here, not sure when they're taking in users yet, but we know that the utility phase is coming to play within AI here in the next couple of months, likely before Christmas, and that's going to allow a lot of these to really send off to that dollar mark and beyond. 01 Labs could very well go a lot higher. So, on to FAR. This one's going far. I know it. And this is in the video gaming world. This particular token, I'm really excited because of how much infrastructure it's providing for video gaming on the Polygon network. This here is currently at 0.7 of a cent. It's been bouncing dribbling like a little basketball down here at these lows for a while now. We see some movements like this that are really encouraging. We might see another one, just a little influx there, give us a quick 200% before it comes back down to find support at this pivot zone. At the same time, that might not occur. We need to see what's going to happen as the weeks unfold and as people start onboarding into these ecosystems. But this one here, my target where I will be selling is at a 2,300% return. So yeehaw, if that's the case. This is the kind of move where it's like, not gonna risk everything, but I'm definitely feeling good about my position, especially if we can get back up to this all-time high. But folks, that's only 22 cents. 22 cents. This is supposed to be $1 by the end of the cycle. So if it's going to be $1, that 2,300% is going to look a lot different, isn't it? $1, 13,000%, almost 14,000% from where we are right now. That would pay your rent for a couple of years, I think. Sundog. Yeah, we keep on finding some new lows here lately. This one here is a meme coin. Again, don't put too much into meme coins, but it's fun to play around. So right now this thing's down quite a ways from where I purchased at 35 cents, now sitting at 10. But I might even add a position just for fun to bring myself back up and make back what we call this the cost of lost opportunity, because that money could have been making money during this time. And so in order to compensate for that, may add a position here to regain this loss that I experienced during this time, so that this is not this time that I have in drawdown is compensated over the next little while. Plus, this strategy also allows me to do dollar cost averaging. So I can get a large amount for the same amount. Like I think I put $100 in here. I can put $100 here, but now instead of getting, you know, the 36 coins, now I'm getting 107, simply because I'm buying it at a lower price. So I'm adding to my volume. I would get a lot more volume here and experience more growth coming back to my position, just shy of the all-time high. I would be making a lot in this area here, more than I would have lost during this time. So that would compensate me for the cost of lost opportunity. Hope that makes sense. If you have questions about that, feel free to reach out. Let's move on. Oh, there it is. Bonk. This is another meme coin. It dipped down below this pennant formation here, but that's just finding some nice support off of this line right here. This is the whatever it is, 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros and then 17. So very, very minute amount here. Again, it's another meme coin. I did $100 on October 16th. And since that time, it's dropped down, definitely in drawdown right now, 20%. Nothing to be worried about. It's cryptos, and it's beyond cryptos. It's a meme coin. So the volatility is going to be there. From here up to the all-time high is 147%. I think that once, especially things like Doge go up, you know, once we've got Solana taking off, going up to like $300, those in particular, I think we're going to see these follow suit. So as we see the momentum coming into those ecosystems, it's where the memes, these are communities of people that are coming together with like mindset that are working towards goals. And so they put out a meme coin to say, hey, you want to be a member? And that's how they get started. So when those larger ecosystems, altcoins like Doge, Polygon, TRX, when those start getting their liquidity is when we'll start to see the memes really start to take off. Now, the exception to that is NPC. NPC, this non-playable coin, their community is a lot more robust. It's a lot more established. There's a lot more communication. It's a larger group of people. And what's interesting is because of how much it gets mentioned by even Elon Musk, for crying out loud, we are seeing a lot more whales come into this pivot zone here that I have highlighted. So this pivot zone between the 2.7 cents and the 3.5 cents has accumulated a lot of volume within the whale community. So as we see this come into fruition, I think this meme coin out of all of them will likely see growth faster, sooner than the other ones. That being said, I kind of feel like it won't have the same amount of growth. Could be wrong, just a sense that I get. Never trade off my sense. Do your own research. No financial advice is ever given on these channels. There we have it, 8:20, there we go. That is market analysis for today, November 5th. I'd love to hear your comments, love to hear your feedback. And if you would like some help getting started, or if you have some questions about a certain asset that you're curious about, whether it's crypto, precious metals, or even in the old stock market, or in the stocks for that matter. You want me to analyze Tesla, Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft? You just let me know. Whatever it is that you're interested in, if you've got positions that you're concerned about, let me know. Be more than happy to do a market analysis with you. And just go to my profiles and find my booking link there. Everybody have a good rest of the day, and happy election day, and we'll see how things go from that. And tomorrow should be interesting. You know, I just wanted to quickly come back here. US 30 didn't crash today. Tuesdays are a wonderful day for the markets to crash. But as you can see over this hour, we've actually seen quite a bit of a growth on the US 30 with a 0.55% growth. That's incredible. It's actually really nice to see. Nice strong impulse. Yum. It doesn't seem like much, 0.59, but with leverage trading on a good exchange, you could make $244 with $100. So have some fun. Everybody have a good day. We'll see you later. See you tomorrow.